What turns a welfare check into a federal takedown? Start with 122 children behind steel doors, a safe packed with $5 million and 4.9 kilograms of heroin hidden inside a director's wall. You're in the right place. In the next minutes, we'll map the tactical entry at 4:18 a.m., the immediate findings that changed the case, and the trail that led agents from a New York orphanage to a fortified compound outside the city. The question we'll answer: who built a charity that doubled as a cartel ledger? Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. The latch turned without drama. No flashbangs, no RAM. So why did the case detonate minutes later? Because the quiet entry removed noise. It left only evidence. The team moved in a four-man stack. Point with shield and camera. Breacher with tools but no charge. 2 rifles for coverage and a tailgun watching the hall. A fifth peeled to mark cleared doors. The breach was controlled. A pry spread the jam. A silent wedge held it, and they flowed in angles. First, hallway lights stayed off. Red dots and a low lumen handheld cut the gloom. 2 medics waited one landing down, kits open, gurneys ready, saline and oral rehydration packets staged. They expected a welfare check. They found a facility built like a vault. Steel core inner doors lined a corridor behind stained glass. Inside, children weren't listed by name. They were grouped in age bands taped to door frames. Tiny to 10, 10 to 14, 14 plus. That alone changed the posture. Rifles lowered, body cams on, call-outs softer and faster. The first room cleared showed sedation indicators. Chew marks on silicone mouthguards. Half-full cups with a bitter syrup ring, and a plastic caddy of droppers with dosing stickers. Blackout curtains were taped to frames, not hung. Each child wore a numbered wrist tag. The ink bled through thin vinyl, and those numbers later matched ledger columns by range and date. Room 2 was colder. A wall unit hummed at max to keep ambient low. 2 cots had towel rolls to keep necks straight. Trash bins held empty electrolyte sachets and cotton with a chemical tang. A handheld pulse ox lay on the floor, still on. Room 3 had no toys, no books, only stacked mats. A clipboard on the door carried checkboxes by hour. No names, just bands and counts. A cracked window was sealed with tape from the outside. Once the first hallway was secured, medics flooded in. The flow was clinical. Water test strips hit cups before anyone drank. Small packets of oral rehydration got mixed and administered slowly. Warm blankets came out of thermal bags, and skin temp was logged on forearms, not ears, to move faster. A handheld ultrasound scanned abdomens for internal trauma, while another medic checked pupils and tracked responses. Wrist tags were photographed, then swapped with coded bands tied to transport manifests. Vans cycled to a secure bay with seat anchors and extra heat. Noise stayed low, orders short. By count 90, the pace held. By count 122, the last child was stabilized, documented, and moved. At the end of the hall, the anomaly waited. The director's quarters didn't match the rest. The door was reinforced, hinges armored, strike plate doubled. Inside, a closet had a motion sensor wired to a panel that didn't sit flush. A thin seam ran behind the hanging clothes. A mirror screw didn't match the others. Behind it, a hidden cavity. They worked the panel, found magnet scoring, and exposed a bolted steel safe. 2 mechanical dials sat over a magnetic reed switch, fail-safe against tampering. When it opened, the air smelled like rubber bands and solvent. Currency bricks were bound in plastic, 10s and 20s layered to fake bulky volume around higher notes inside. Tamper-evident bags rode alongside, unused but on hand. Below them, heroin bricks wrapped tight, each stamped with a cartel mark. The packaging spoke logistics, uniform tape jobs, corner folds, and waist slips scribbled in shorthand used in bulk movement, not petty street sales or charitable accounting. Small bills mixed to ease distribution. Standardized brick weights keep pallets predictable. Ledger shorthand with band plus date entries mirrors inventory turns, not meal counts. In a camera case lay an SD card. Time-stamped entries aligned with child transfers logged by those wrist numbers. The tally hit hard. $5 million in cash, 4.9 kilograms of heroin, and digital records tying movement to dates and quantities. The room stayed quiet, but the paperwork began to shout. Those numbers, laid side by side, started drawing lines that ran far past the neighborhood and out beyond the city limits. How does a donation box turn into a $2 billion wash cycle? It starts with a story that shields questions. A Catholic orphanage holds prayer drives, posts glossy newsletters, and thanks monthly partners for keeping the lights on and bellies full. Religious exemptions limit audits and keep detailed ledgers out of public view. The messaging highlights community meals and holiday toy drops. The filings, when they appear, read like any mid-sized charity. Volunteers, outreach, a promise of stewardship. But up close, the numbers and the flow don't match. The front door takes in $34 million a month on average. Less than 8% lands on food, clothing, or basic utilities. No real classroom spend, no contracted teachers, and medical payments routed to outside LLCs that never list pediatric services. That first red flag triggers the next. Operational costs look thin where they should be heavy and fat where they should be routine. Vendor names repeat across invoices and bank logs, yet they file from mailbox suites. The surplus doesn't sit, it moves, wire by wire, wallet by wallet. The laundering tree shows its branches when you overlay the SD card shorthand with transfers. One controller wallet swells after donation days, then splits into 6 shells. 4 hop offshore to jurisdictions known for secrecy. 2 pass through domestic pass-throughs that file as consulting and custodial care but have no payroll and no licenses. Cold wallets hold just long enough to be rebundled as anonymous religious gifts, sent back through faith-linked donors. Here's a snapshot of 1 week. Mid-week, the public site runs a fundraiser tied to a saint's feast day. The main wallet spikes by mid-afternoon. Within hours, funds split into 6 addresses, each pushing through a different payment processor. 2 days later, logs tie a bulk heroin movement on the I-95 corridor to those same ledger tags found on the SD card. Timestamps align with routing notes from a router outside city limits. Donation in, split, settle, then product moves. The timing repeats across 4 months. This isn't donor drift, it's a schedule. Los Cazadores touches show up in the metadata. Donation memos categorize inflows as anonymous religious gifts. Investigators match those entries with Cartel comms pings originating from that off-site router. The language on monthly reports mirrors trafficking math, not welfare tracking. Capacity, turnover, loss. That's inventory management. Capacity reads as beds, but correlates with shipment volume. Turnover matches intake and exit windows. Loss tracks to spoilage in a drug pipeline or attrition in a human trafficking line, not a food pantry or a diaper supply. Follow the wires 30 miles out and the paper map hits a physical one. A fortified compound carries the weight of the operation. Reinforced walls, guard towers, motion sensors layered along the perimeter. Inside, logistics nodes coordinate drug production and human movement. Reports describe organ extraction planning alongside distribution routes, pointing to a multi-use warehouse of bodies and product. The orphanage becomes the city node, a storefront that accepts clean and dirty cash, then pushes it through the same accounting spine.